On Wednesday, Tigray Forces former chief and deputy head of Tigray Interim Administration, General Taddesse already announced the demobilization of over 50,000 former fighters as per to the Pretoria Agreement.
There has been consensus based on Pretoria Agreement. Demobilization of Tigray Army is one of the pillars of the agreement. Now, for the first round, we have started demobilizing more than 50,000 fighters, but the National Rehabilitation Commission that has been established by the federal government was supposed to undertake the process by providing endowment to the demobilized citizens to lead normal lives in line with the agreement. We've taken the initiative to demobilize in order to sustain the peace and development of the country without expecting the sluggish implementation of the agreement.
The news put many in surprise at the withdrawal of Eritrean forces and Amhara forces, which had to be done parallel to the disarmament of heavy weaponry, is yet to happen. Many wonder why the Tigray forces are in rush to do what is expected from their side without making sure the reciprocity by the federal government. General Taddesse himself blames the federal government for not necessarily following the implementation of the peace agreement. He also criticized the Ethiopian government established National Rehabilitation Commission for failing to carry out the demobilization process on its own and on time. According to Article 6 of the Pretoria Peace Agreement, demobilization and reintegration plan shall consider the Tigray region's law and order needs. However, almost one-third of the region's territory is under the occupation of Amhara and Eritrean forces, putting the civilians there at higher risk of atrocities including murder, rape, abduction, and looting. 6 months into the surrender of heavy weaponry by Tigrayan forces, Amhara forces and Eritrean forces still control Western Tigray, where international human rights advocates reveal that ethnic cleansing of ethnic Tigrayans has been taking place. General Taddesse, who had commanded the Tigrayan forces in the 2-year-long war, also stated that the race fighters will remain intact as external forces continue to operate in Tigrayan territory and didn't withdraw from Tigray according to the Pretoria Peace Agreement.
We've begun the process in consent with the demobilized soldiers and the people. After the demobilization certificate was issued to every soldier, they've been warmly welcomed in areas under control of the Tigray Interim Regional Administration, taking into account the security issues in areas which are not under Tigray Interim Regional Administration. Though the federal government has not restored the occupied territories of Tigray yet, the remaining fighters are still in the army.
Despite federal government's failure to withdraw these forces, Tigrayan forces have been following the right steps in implementing the Pretoria Agreement and the Nairobi Executive Declaration. The Tigrayan forces began to mobilize their forces on the 26th of May, preceded by the handing over of their cruise-servile weaponry to the Ethiopian National Defense Forces. It is also to be recalled the forces have surrendered their heavy weaponry in January of this year in Garrison near Ogula, Eastern Tigray.
Of course, today, 10th of January 2023, we are here to witness a crucial aspect of our assigned task as enshrined in Article 6 of the Ceasefire Declaration, which is the disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration program.
General Taddesse has also called on the National Rehabilitation Commission to fund the reintegration of these demobilized combatants back to their communities. The fighters also say they are happy they got the chance to go back to their home alive. On the other hand, some of the fighters couldn't go back home as their hometowns are under the occupation of Eritrean forces and Amhara regional forces.
They should leave immediately. Our comrades need to go back home, so the invaders must leave the areas. Our IDPs should return home.
Will the peace process uphold? Could fighting relapse anyway? Will Ethiopian government render Eritrean and Amhara forces withdraw from Tigray? The question remains unanswered.